back to Wonderland, the podcast. I am your host, Tim, joined with my other hosts, Kelley and Jake. Boy, oh boy, do we have a Wet and Wild episode for you from this past Wet and Wild weekend. We all dressed up for the occasion. Jake is fresh off of a half marathon at the Indianapolis 500 track, Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Did you get a fresh cut too?
I did.
You're looking very fresh.
Thank you.
Very hydrated, actually, which is weird for this show. Kelley is straight from Miami.
She wishes.
And I look perfectly normal. So, moving ahead. No, this is the...
Tim, you've been wearing that for the past 15 minutes, and I'm just like
very hot.
Yeah.
I didn't expect us. I forgot that we needed to prep before the episode, so I was like, I'm going to toss this puppy on right meow. This is from a very special race, a Wonderland exclusive. The gang surprised me on my birthday, and as my wife did as well, by showing up for some karting at COTA. I think I can say it comfortably on behalf of the whole pod. He kind of kicked ass on the track. These were the racing hoods that they gave us for that day. We got rained out, so we will be going back. Expect more content.
Why don't you write in the comments who you think won out of the three of us?
Yeah, we're going to take... So here's the clip, folks, okay? Marking it on the pod. We need to know, out of the three of us, who you thought won and got fastest lap at the COTA karting track. Go look it up. Take a look at it, see what you thought, or see what you think, and next week we'll reveal the grand winner of Tim's birthday go-kart extravaganza. My birthday party was like for a 10-year-old. It was race cars, pizza, and disc golf. It was amazing. All right, I'm taking this off.
It was.
Okay.
The reveal. The hair reveal.
Oh, yes.
The best part.
Like I was saying earlier, we have a crazy episode for you. Miami was wild. One of the more exciting weekends of the season so far. We also had a sprint weekend, so shit was crazy. The rookies are rookieing. Kimi is all over the place in all the best ways. A lot of carnage this weekend as well to look forward to. In the spirit of keeping this a timely episode of the podcast, we're just going to jump right in here. Jake, we're not doing points yet. Kelley, can you just take us on to some of the off-track fun that we had looking over the Miami Grand Prix weekend?
Absolutely. One of the most exciting parts about Miami is the way teams show up for Miami. This race, I think, is 4 years old now. And Piastri just extended to 2041, which the thought of that year in my brain is like, when?
I haven't extended to that point yet. I can't comprehend.
I know, I'm like, will I still be here? What does that even look like at this point?
At this rate,
the 30s.
We're not sure, and that's okay. But Miami GP will still be around, happening. What's really fun is, teams show up for this race in unexpected ways. So we get to see really fun merch, really fun liveries or not, and a lot of off-track conversation before the race even started was mostly around what fun liveries do we have. Again, those are like the change of outfits the race cars have. And what are the teams wearing? Also very exciting. There were a couple of teams with some new merch in the paddock. And I really just want to talk about it because we saw some good, and then we saw some what did we do there? What are we up to? Let's start with V-Carb because F175, when they did their livery reveal at the O2, they were top for us at the start of the season. Their livery, super clean, looked really fast. And they showed up again for Miami with a special livery. What are your thoughts? We'll toss it on the screen. It's a very pink summer edition livery.
I think they timed their reveal best because they revealed it right after Ferrari did, and Ferrari fucking tanked. Ferrari didn't
I was
seem
trying
Miami.
to start with someone that we liked first.
Sorry. I was just trying to say in
okay.
comparison in my feed. I mean, I loved V-Carbs. I thought it was really fun. Kind of reminded me of a Suzuka livery for the cherry blossoms. But I felt like it was a strong showing. It was fun. Why not go a little bit more hot pink than a blush pink for Miami? Ferrari, to me, really bombed. It didn't really say Miami at all. It just said HP, buy a printer. You're running low on ink. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts, Jake.
I mean, I loved it. Pink was, and I don't know if it still is my favorite color, but as a kid, it was pink, and that says a lot.
Hot pink.
Says, I mean, 2 musical theater majors and a D1 athlete. Kelly, what was your favorite color?
I loved the pink. What I loved, I think, the most was that like it was universally loved in a sport that's like very male dominated. Everyone was like, V-Carb's crushing. And I'm like, V-Carb is crushing in like bright pink. We're all on the same page. We love that.
I love that it was like tied in with like Barbie. And like I wish that I know that someone commented like V-Carby.
Yes.
Or V-Carb Barbie or whatever. But I really just thought it was so it was executed very well, from the like social media to the merch to it matching the same color shade of pink of the Red Bull energy drink. It just I thought it was all like the whole thing, the whole campaign was 10 out of 10.
Excellent.
Yeah, 360. Yep. Now let's talk a little bit about our our favorite team we want to see win just keeps making not the best decisions. Ferrari. We'll toss their livery and even their suits up.
Yikes.
Suits I liked more than the livery. The livery was the suits were like I could connect the dots maybe if I tried really hard and squinted for my life. To make it Miami, the blue is the sky and the water. That's about it. Oh. And you got some power tools. Is Jess doing some pit stop practice in there? I heard a drill happen.
Oh,
that might have been the lock on the front door.
Oh. Well, tell her she needs to start practicing because we have a title
locked.
to uphold.
That's right.
I didn't understand the blue. I don't get it. It doesn't scream. To quote my favorite 2 duo, Trixie and Katya again.
I'm gay, but I'm not that gay.
What are we watching? What are we watching?
This is not Christmas and it's not gay. Like it's not. It's flip the table moment. Like they did a whole campaign on social media. We have a big reveal, and then everyone's like, "I hope you're hungry." For nothing. Like it's just I don't get it.
Did they save all the fashion for the Met Gala? Like Lewis said, guys, we can't do anything cool because I'm about to blow it up here. I feel like they had a really good opportunity here to do something.
I mean, imagine having Lewis on your team, who is one of the like, I forget his actual title for the Met, but like
co-chair.
The co-chair of the Met Gala, like fashion, hello. It kind of screamed Williams. Like if you squinted, like
the suits for sure.
Last year's Williams, yeah.
The suits. I just think last year they came in so strong, that powder blue in Miami. That was pretty.
That was cool.
I just still find it hard to, and I don't know if it's because it's in America, so they wanted it to be red, white, and blue, but like, it's hard. One, I'll acknowledge it's hard for Ferrari to do anything special because they are so iconic red, and so anything that is off of that is hard, but why not do like a black livery with red accents? That's very Miami Vice, you know, like make it like a sunset. Like I just do
a collab with their NBA team.
Yeah, I just
iconic.
don't
like.
I don't get the blue. It doesn't look good. It doesn't match. The more I look at the Ferrari, and I love Ferrari, but the more I look at the livery this year, the more I hate it. I mean, it doesn't help that they are digging themselves in their own grave on the actual sporting side, but front, it's a nah for me, dog.
One thing I thought was novel about it, and as I was watching the race, I don't know why it stuck out to me like this, and I'm the deeper I go into this thought, the more I feel like I'm the only one who may think this. I thought that the front wing looked remarkably more like a mustache for some reason with the blue and white highlights. And that to me made it bearable as we moved through the weekend. But I still, and then at the end of the weekend, I was like, no, fuck this. I just was like, oh, that looks like a mustache, or maybe it's ADHD.
Could be. Okay, well, Ferrari, we didn't really talk about this one too much. I think we might have differing opinions, but Mercedes did a whole situation. They're sponsored by Adidas, which is like, for me, chef's kiss. I love that so much. The other piece about being sponsored by something like an Adidas is like, it's way more accessible in the US. So all of this merch dropped and like we could get it. It didn't ship from the F1 site for taking a month to come. So
No
I'm here for it. But what did y'all think about their... What'd you think,
You
Jacob?
heard what I said.
know.
No, I heard Tim loud and clear. I'm just holding my mouth. I've been very good about not flying off the handle. That's a wicked quote, Tim.
Okay, Tim.
Well-
okay, Jake's gonna go. Jake.
I was just gonna say I really thought it was great. The hat, beautiful. The
pink hat.
Seeing Kimmy do his interviews with that pink hat on, just gorgeous.
Toto.
I think that there was Toto. I mean, he was. I wish that he was wearing the suit. That would have been nice to see. I was not a big fan of the suit. I thought that the design was actually really, really cool, and I didn't mind the colors, but I wish that they weren't together. Like, I think the maroon took everything away from it. Like, I think it would have looked better if the neon, like, orangey pink was like a teal or something, or they, got rid of the maroon, and I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm not living for.
Yeah. I think we said in the chat too, or in our group chat, it was like, this is a cool livery and overall and good like update, but it didn't scream Miami to me. It screamed more like Abu Dhabi, last race of the season kind of vibes. It was cool, but Jake, I agree that like a teal or the blue or like the Mercedes accent, like the color of Toto's watch, that classic Mercedes blue, would have been really, really cool on there. But I think overall it was nice. It was definitely better executed than Ferrari. I'd place it like right in the middle, or closer towards V-carb in terms of the ranks than Ferrari. But I think V-carb executed best.
Maybe I just have had. I mean, I have had a week into a weekend and now another week. But they didn't have a separate livery, correct?
No,
it was
they
just
didn't.
the suit.
I misspoke.
Yeah,
It was
so
just the
I think
tracksuit. Yeah, jump
I know what you meant, but I think that just jogged a thought for me. Like, if they would have incorporated that on a livery, I could have seen it more. It just seemed a little disconnected.
And they did for the F1 Academy. And the livery looked unbelievable. So fresh, so cool. They brought that same theme onto the F1 Academy car.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at
I
the
respectfully
now. Ooh.
disagree with y'all, though. I loved it. I kind of want to buy all of it. I don't own a jersey necessarily, but I'm like, God, do I need this jersey? I love it. I love the pop of the neon. It doesn't need to be the whole thing for me. And this to me is like special, different, special. Come at me, Jacob.
I'm not going to come at you. I'm just laughing to myself because I'm going to get in so much trouble for this. And it looks like something Lululemon would come out with.
I'm afraid to say anything.
It does. And I'm wearing Lululemon. I love that company. It's been a big part of my life, but it looks like a Lululemon jumpsuit.
And there are reasons why I am obsessed with it. The only thing about the suit, the placement of the coloring when they're looking from the front, it looks like they're in like boots from the suit. It just does something weird. The back, the view from the back, Jake, I've checked. I think you'd like it. The view from the back is great. Not like the way it is from the front. It just looks like a
that was a very Will Buxton
boots
breakdown of it. The view from the back is lovely. The view from the front, not as much, because it's not the back. But if you look at it from not the front, which is the back, lovely.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's it.
Okay, the only other thing I really want to talk about for special things is Lando Norris's party helmet, and boy, was I here for a disco ball moment.
Yeah, helmets were great. I loved Alex Albon's too, but Lando's looked the best when he was on track and in interviews wearing it. It felt a little bit Daft Punk-ish, but I thought initially that it was just kind of like a gimmick helmet that was going to be like, hey, this is my helmet, and then he was going to have one that was painted. But no, full mirror ball moment. Loved it.
So there actually was a little bit of controversy with it. There were, as F1 fans love to do, call out everything, and they were like, how is that legal with the weight, and how is that safe with the drivers? And to clear things up, the one that was posted on social media was a social media helmet that was full disco, full weighted mirrors, which I can't imagine how heavy that actually would be.
Right.
But the actual crash helmet that was worn in the races or on track was vinyl, I think.
It was like a chrome.
It definitely still like it still was metallic, but it was a vinyl like wrap versus actual mirrors. And I loved the comment. I'm going to butcher it, but someone said, I was hoping for full on, sun rays, death by sun rays. Oscar was pissed about the red light, and I was like,
yeah, you made that joke this week too. That was
so
this
annoying.
Is everything.
I agree.
Next week we'll have lasers shooting out of our helmet.
Oh my gosh, so fun. Yeah, I definitely wanted them to at least try. Just put it on for practice and see what the FIA would do. They probably wouldn't make a decision until Monday at the rate that they're making decisions. So I think you would have been fine putting that on the track. I don't think the FIA would know what to do, if I'm being honest.
they've left debris on the circuits multiple times.
Legos.
This week, yeah, literally. So I don't think a mirror would do anything. They've literally left mirrors on the track, so it might be fitting, actually.
I agree. Okay, well, that's it for the liveries and special things that I want to call out. The only other off-track drama and excitement I want to talk about, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Maxi
We're not
Daddy.
talking about Toto this time.
Oh, different Daddy.
Yeah.
That used to be my favorite movie, Big Daddy. That's what it was called, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where he's like,
Sandler.
and he's like, and Cole and Dylan Sprouse, and he's like, I wipe my own ass.
But I want my own ass! I want my own ass!
That's my favorite.
Timothy
Cute. Now we have a new Big Daddy, and his name's Max Verstappen. And this baby, I'm so excited for this baby. This is exactly what F1 Academy and women in racing needs. It literally needs Big Daddy to have a girl. And there's only one other dad on the grid currently, Nico. I believe he has a baby boy.
I think
There
he's got a baby
was-
girl too.
Does he have a girl too?
I'll fact check. Carry on.
There's just something about Max having a girl right now, 2 girls, honestly. He's a stepdad to P, and now he has Lily. I'm like, and this baby has PK plus Verstappen genes. It's similar. It gives me similar vibes to oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Bryant, Kobe. It gives me Kobe vibes, like girl dad vibes, investment in development. I don't know. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah. Did you
That's
hear
too
Fernando
crazy.
Alonso is like, I look forward to racing against her in 20 years.
Oh my God.
When he's still a
my
rookie.
God.
He will. He'll still be
Yeah.
a rookie.
Yes. That, and then the commentators, man, love them, and then sometimes they're so brutal. If they said nappy one more time,
Yeah.
which for Americans, we obviously call them diapers, but I guess they're called nappies in other places. I didn't know, this unlocked a new ick for me with nappies. It's almost as bad as moist. Every time they'd say nappy, I'm like,
What about a moist nappy? Because that
oh
happens.
God,
It
that's
does
next
happen.
level. That does happen. Yeah. Any other? I mean, he missed a day of media, which I'm sure he was not upset about. But any other Maxi Daddy comments or thoughts?
Should we say that we're not the ones who coined the term Big Daddy for Max? That was Yuki. There was a video going around, and if you haven't seen it, you must. Or Jake, if you're able to put it up here, we'll throw it up here. But
Big Daddy, huge congratulations, and wishing you and Kelley all the best. And yeah, can't wait.
It was very endearing, but also like a little bit uncomfortable. Just, it was full commitment. I loved it. Love Yuki. Also, Lando in an interview said that he was hoping for Max to be a little bit slower because he just became a dad this weekend, and we saw in quali. We'll get into it. That did not happen.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it was great.
Not a chance.
Yeah, it was
Love it.
great.
Okay, so that's all the things I want to talk about off track. We came up with a little game because Miami has things
That's what
that
we
are
do.
so outside the bounds of normal. So Jake, take us
You know what has been like playing in my head on repeat from like just being up to speed on the race and like up to speed on social media is I don't even know how the song goes, but it's like, welcome to Miami. That like promo song.
Bienvenidos a Miami.
Like,
Welcome
it's-
to the city where the heat
Yeah.
is on all night on the beach till the break of dawn.
Oh,
Welcome
Kelley
to
freaking
Miami.
knows it. Yeah.
She does.
I'm a little older than you, so this
Is that a?
let me have this.
Are you 27?
You're 19.
Oh my God,
know.
Jake, we're both 25 and she's 27. Gosh.
I just
What can
turned
I say?
25.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Speaking of wisdom, let's use our wisdom in a little game that we like to call cool, cringe, or so American. So
Oh my God, I love it.
we'll bring up some topics that happened or are part of specifically the Miami Grand Prix. And then we will each vote on them if they're actually cool, painfully cringe, or just aggressively American. Remember that and this is for myself. Remember, American doesn't necessarily mean bad. It sometimes means camp, sometimes it means chaos, and sometimes it's a Lego parade. So use your best judgment. And are you guys ready to play?
Boy,
So ready.
yes.
Okay, let's go. So the first topic, so cool, so cringe, or so American, is the fake marina. If you are a viewer or a listener and don't know what we're talking about, just Google it. I'm sure if you watch the race, you have full knowledge of it. But in short, it is a fake marina they put in the circuit. It's literally they craned in yachts and then put them on
fake
a
F1 car.
board of wood and then covered it with vinyl to look like water. So yeah, Kelley, do you want to give me your vote first?
I mean, it's between so cringe and so American. Like, of course, we tried to make this fake marina in the middle of a track. We're close to the water, but it's not Monaco. We're not on the water. And it's literally, I saw something where it's like literally wood and a vinyl that makes it look like water.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna go so American. Like that was so American of us.
Tim,
think
what is your take?
I felt more cringe. I was leaning towards more American, but what it was giving me was like abandoned theme park vibes, and that's Universal. That's worldwide. We're talking about Mr. Worldwide. That's
a Pitbull reference.
Yes, it is. For anybody older than us, 25 and 27-year-old youths. Yeah, I think cringe. I thought it was just kind of cringe. They had the money to do something real, but didn't.
I think I'm gonna vote it's so American because it is so cringe, but it's so American because it's so fake. Like,
I thought for a second you were about to say, I thought it was so cool.
I mean, I don't hate it. Like, it's just fake. So it's like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And the little
Just
like Fisher Price yachts that were in the middle of it too really didn't help the situation out.
yeah,
Right. You're not gonna find a fake marina in like Saudi.
right.
That thing's gonna be real.
Yeah.
You know?
And even
Well,
if
I
it's
think
in
a
the
lot
middle
of
of
people-
the desert, they're gonna build it to be real.
I think a lot of people are comparing it to Monaco, and honestly, I don't think it's trying to be Monaco. I think it's like a gimmick to charge people X amount of money to be on that or in that location, which again is so American. Yeah,
Premium fake water in Miami.
just like my student loans. That's what I say that it is. It's just fake. Let's move on to the next one. Let's just umbrella Zach Brown at this race, specifically Zach Brown at this race this weekend. Could be sprint, could be full GP, could be press.
This, to me, it felt like cringy uncle vibes because of his tire water situation.
Yeah,
Him and
yeah.
that's all I got.
I'm a cringe, straight cringe. I think he's so smart at what he does in funding and marketing, and I will never take it away from him. He loves a yap on the radio to the commentators. He loves
it.
If he
The
wasn't
tire
Canadian,
water-
it would be so American.
it. Ooh. Okay.
I see it. I think it's so. I mean, it's cringe. It's a cringe for me. It feels like he's just. It's just interesting. I sent you a meme last night about like how it's Zach. You know, we have two number one drivers, Oscar and what's his name. Like, it's just like he's such a bandwagoner. I feel like, and he doesn't. He's like the cool kid that was never cool. You know what I mean? Like he's like in this position now where he
That was
like
a psychological assessment.
Yes.
yeah.
Also,
So
I just fact checked myself. He was born in L.A., not Canada. I don't know where I heard that he was from Canada. So
So he could be
So
so
American.
American.
again, so cringe, so American. Let's move on to the next one. The Lego Driver Parade. I'm going to start this one and say that this is so cool and also so American, which I don't normally put two and two
Well,
together.
You don't
So-
have to.
Yeah, so but more so I think this is so cool.
yeah, I thought it was really fun. And Lego's a Danish company, right?
Tim with the facts.
Timothy.
Here we go. I'm just like slinging
Timothy?
facts out before I actually know them. Yeah, they are. Denmark.
So it is not American, but it is so cool.
It feels American because we've got like Legoland and all those theme parks and everything. But yeah, I thought it was super cool. And
The coolest.
I didn't think that they would actually move. But then they did the whole driver's parade in them and almost nothing.
It took them 22,000 hours or something like that.
400,000 pieces.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Which the driver's parade was pure chaos.
Took the drivers at least 5 minutes to ruin them.
Yeah. I think the actual driver parade was so American, like just like ruining something as soon as you get it. It's great. But it was also very fun, you know, seeing their faces while they were doing it. Like it was so
They all turned into 5-year-olds instantly.
It was so cool. Yeah. Okay, so we kind of talked about this one already, but Yuki's Big Daddy moment. Was that so cool, so cringe, or so American?
I'm going to say so cool because I thought it was hilarious. And it was just about Max becoming a dad, which I think is so cool.
I'll say the same thing.
Cool. Be cool across the board. He said big
Live,
daddy,
laugh.
and I was like,
So funny.
yes.
Live, laugh, love that.
He almost
Okay,
said it with a question mark, too, because he goes, hey, Big Daddy.
We already talked about Lando's helmet. I think we all agreed that it was so cool. So I'm going to skip over that one and go to his teammates' celebration dance, the gritty. Oscar Piastri doing the gritty after he won the race.
Kelley, you go first.
Is it not the most American thing to try to dance? I think it's so American. But he's not American and he didn't practice clearly. And I don't think we'll ever see this amount of personality from him again, which is kind of sad. But yeah, like the TikToks and the dancey moves, he was obviously fulfilling a bet. So I appreciate that about him. But that was so American for me.
I think the ideation of it all with him and Justin Jeffries, so cool, so American. Justin Jeffries trying to get him to do it. I was waiting when he won and got up on top of his car out of the cockpit to do it. I was like, he chickened out. He weighed in, went over to his team, and then he did it, but he didn't fully commit. Even if he had fully committed and it was as bad as it was, would have been way less cringe. I think ultimately so American across the board. Execution was cringe. Seeing Brian Muller and Gunter Steiner teach Gunter Steiner from Red Flags how to gritty on their TikTok was so cool. Everything we needed. Yes, I want it.
I think it borders for me between so cool that it's cringe or so cringe that it's cool. I agree with you, Tim, that like it wasn't fully committed, so like that would have been better. But I think the gritty is just such a cringe move. I don't think anyone makes it look good. I think it's such a stupid move. We're gonna get people be like, I do it great. But I used to make fun of people doing it by doing it, and I look so cringe doing it on stage. So yeah, it bordered. I think it was fun. And to your point, Kelley, I think it's cool that we see Oscar loosen up a little bit and show some personality. So yeah, I think it's the way that you look at it for me. Last but not least, let's go on to the gigantic podium at the Hard Rock Stadium. It was kind of like some of the Grand Prix where the drivers get shuttled to a different location from where they finish, where they park their cars. And they were literally on the side of the stadium. It was gigantic, which
And
I will
so
say
far away, like that little,
which is probably why it was so
gigantic
gigantic.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say it's so American because everything is jumbo sized.
Yep. American.
I was like, what is this podium? How large are these screens?
The fans
Yeah.
like running to the podium from the grandstands looked like they were running away from something. It was kind of terrifying. And they like had to run a mile to get from the grandstands to that. And then when they got to the podium, some of them were still a mile away. They had like a little funnel. If you saw the drone shot going over, they had like where like normal people stood, and then they had like a little transition area for the press, and then up front was all the celebrities who didn't know what was going on anyway.
I also think like that is the impression I do think other countries have of us beyond certain things is like everything is just gigantic here for almost like no reason. And that podium is like the epitome of like just gigantic land. Uncalled for, but like it's still there because we can. So yeah.
And that's temporary too. Like if you go to COTA or some of these permanent circuits, that podium is there. Like it might not be dressed up the way it is when it's actually being used, but it's still there. Like it's a part of the building. Whereas this is like completely temporary. I mean, I'm sure parts of it are the structure of the stadium, but it's the stadium. So yeah,
I almost love that more.
I do too.
It's like the camp of it all, you know.
I'm gonna add one bonus one in here, and that is the paddock being inside the stadium. We didn't talk about that. So if you did not watch the race, or if you don't know what we're talking about, normally the paddock is behind the garages. And this time, because it was at the stadium, all of the team's headquarters and media was located on the field. Dakota's
trying to send us a
excited.
Morse code signal.
Yeah. But yeah, so was that so American, so cool, or so cringe for you guys?
I think it was so American and so cool because it's unique, right? American football stadiums, we're not getting any kind of tracks internationally at like real football stadiums. So I think it's kind of fun. I think it's cool. And that stadium I think has been recently renovated too. So why not, show it off and get everybody in there?
I think it's super cool. I even think for the drivers it's probably pretty cool, but like you're doing the same rigmarole every weekend. Everything kind of looks the same. Like having something unique, I think is really fun. So I'm here for it.
I think it's so cool too, from the perspective of the fans too, because they were allowed to go in the actual stadium and like in the seats and look down on the paddock and see their drivers. And that's something that you normally don't get access to at a regular race or a regular paddock, because it's all for paddock passes only. And I thought that was a really cool element to having it inside the stadium as well.
Yeah.
So
That was a
cool.
great
All
game.
right. That was
Yeah.
fun. I think we are ready to talk about some more fun stuff that happened
things
on the track.
On the track.
Yeah, buddy. So
Oh,
this
boy.
this was a sprint weekend. Tim, I know that you have some stuff that you had prepared for us, but just to remind our viewers or listeners, sprint weekend is not the same as a normal weekend. It has one practice session, a sprint qualifying session, a sprint race, followed by a qualifying for a Grand Prix, and then a Grand Prix the next day. So it's the same amount of sessions, but there's only one practice, and there are 2 qualifiers for 2 races. So yeah.
Yep. We can all tag team this. So we may not get to everything as in depth as we normally do because there was a lot that happened this weekend.
So much.
And I'm going to try to protect everybody's time and keep us moving through here. But gosh, a little reminiscent of Melbourne from the beginning of this season here in Miami. So much rain, so much confusion, and trying to anticipate when the rain was going to come, if it was going to arrive at all, when to pit, all of these things. Some great pit stop calls made by the drivers themselves. None made by the people in the garage this weekend. That was really heartbreaking, especially if you're a Ferrari fan. But let's start with the sprint weekend. So starting with practice, I guess. The one practice they got right before sprint qualifying. Poor Ollie Behrman. I think he is an excellent driver, a really, really fantastic talent to have on the grid and in the mix. It's just a bummer he's in a Haas. He tapped into the wall, caused a red flag. Not great. McLaren is doing a little geocaching, like treasure hunts for everybody here. So leaving their torches for our American listeners, those are flashlights, inside of his car. Wildly dangerous. What the hell?
Lando was like, "What is rattling in my car?"
But and also later in the actual GP, Charles Leclerc had some of this stuff like right above his knees start to come undone. Some of the padding. Kind of crazy. On brand for Ferrari for the past couple seasons, having their cars just spontaneously deteriorate. That being said, flashlights.
I don't want to hear a single word from Red Bull about their car being a mess because everyone else's car is a mess.
Fine. It's fine. The organization is a little bit of a mess, and that's that. Let's see. Sprint qualifying 1. Charles struggled. It was a little bit of a heavy metal ping pong match for Ferrari drivers this weekend. We had Charles out in Q1 for sprint. Looking at the big picture things, not the worst thing in the world. Yuki also out in Q1. Jack Doohan. Woo, poor boy. Jack Doohan doing the most on the radio.
Doing the least.
Doing the least for his team. But I can't really blame him. So anybody who didn't watch, Jack Doohan in sprint qualifying was he got stuck behind Pierre, right? Because Pierre was on his slow lap. Jack was supposed to be in his qualifying lap. Slowed down too much. Missed that window. Big bummer across the board.
And again, I also think that I think Jack is also feeling the pressure, which I don't know like how much of that radio was like actually, it was just an easy scapegoat to blame, which it was true, but I think he's under so much pressure as he should be. And it just was an unfortunate qualifying. Like everyone gets dinged with unfortunate qualifying, whether it's a safety car or red flag, not being out early enough or late enough, whatever it may be. I think we're going to see some shakeup. We just saw that their team principal resigned today. I don't know if you guys saw that. So Alpine is not in the best of hands. So I think we're going to probably see some changes coming here in the next few weeks.
Is for our more pedestrian listeners. We love you, and there is always a place for you in this sport. But Franco Colapinto is the third driver for Alpine, and there has been rumblings since almost 2 races ago, I think, that he was going to step in because Doohan keeps either getting clipped or clipping things and DNFing all over the place. Going Going into Q2 for the sprint, Albon pulling a full Max Verstappen, calling out the Mercedes for being a little bit too low. It was not too low. It just ended up being way too fucking fast with our boy Kimi in it. This was, Jake and I were blowing up our chat. Kelley was catching up. It was just everything we wanted it to be, at least in that moment, if only for a moment. And I told Jake I was crying. I was not crying fully.
Yeah, so Tim didn't try. Tim lied.
Tim lied. No, Tim cried a little bit. I teared up. Not really. But
So you lied.
So you
Tim
lied.
I got really excited just to see Toto's face and to see Kimi's reaction on the radio and just like not knowing what to do with himself afterwards. Best moment all season.
So to back up, Kimi got pole position. He is the youngest driver to ever have a pole position
in any F1 race, sprint or otherwise.
Yes. And this kid is just, and like he's a kid. He's
a
18
Pixar
years
character.
Old.
Yeah.
He could not get his helmet off. He was like lingering too long in the interviews. Like you could just tell that he was like, this is my first time. Like I'm so happy, but I can't get my helmet off. Yeah. So it was just a historic moment to watch, and
a wickedly fast lap too. Like that car looked angry, and then he comes on the radio. He's like, "Woohoo! We did it! Let's go!"
He's just Luca, and it's really amazing. And Toto, they flashed to Toto, and he's like in a t-shirt, I think, like something like, why was he dressed like that? I mean, I was not mad, but
he was dressed because he knew he looked really hot.
But like, he was the biggest. I've never seen Toto smile that large in my entire life. And
Same.
it was just overall the whole experience, even though it was not, I don't want to downplay that it was just a sprint race, but it wasn't the main event of the weekend. And it felt like your favorite driver just won everything.
Everybody was super stoked about it. Bono was grinning like a Cheshire cat. And then Kimi's dad, too. It was really, really sweet. The whole family was there. And yeah, very exciting. However, short-lived. He did not have the greatest start and got kind of nudged out by Max, right? Oscar? Somebody nudged him out.
Everyone.
That first, yeah, everybody.
Everyone a little
but
bit.
still very exciting. Drove great throughout the weekend. He did pretty well. Let's go this post-sprint race here. I mean, okay, so actually, let's not skip over the race because the race was rainy and
chaotic.
It was full of carnage. And I want to drive home too that the importance of the carnage in this race carried out through the weekend, because if you fucked your car up in the sprint race, you had a very short amount of time to get that sucker ready for qualifying, which was that afternoon. Sprint race also was really heavily delayed because of the rain. So rule is for sprint race, you either have 19 laps, or for this one specifically, you had 19 laps or an hour and a half from when it was supposed to start, whichever comes first.
I didn't know. Hour and a half. That
So
makes sense.
it was 90-minute timer set on that. Everybody thought they were going to call it or just do a couple laps. It ended with a safety car in play. Thoughts, feelings on this? Fernando Alonso in the wall. Poor Kimi.
By Liam Lawson. Get that boy
Again,
out.
I think it's...
Cooked.
I don't wish ill will on anyone, but he is really costing Red Bull a lot of money. And I think I'm losing here because he stresses me out when I see him on TikTok and doing some douchey situation.
Yeah, just overall, it's just not a good look. On or off track.
Yep.
I think what was so frustrating watching, because I think I watched the sprint race live. Like even the commentators didn't know what was going on based on what the rules were versus what was happening. So because of the rain, the track, they'd never seen the track with rain. Again, this is the 4th year we've had it. So Miami, they kept saying there's only 11 days in the year that it rains in Miami, which I kind of think is...
It's not true.
And 10 of them are a hurricane.
It rains every day. As someone that lived in Florida for 6 years of my life, it rains every day. It might be for like 5 minutes.
That's right.
But like
Very that.
for you not to have a plan, and like Kimi in the sprint race couldn't even see, like he was like, I don't even know where I'm going.
Terrifying. Yeah, so I think that for the sprint race, that was frustrating. And then they're like, well, there's only 18 laps left, so that was one formation lap and a lap of the race. And then they're like, well, no, that was a formation. They did 2 formation laps, and they couldn't figure it out. That was so annoying to me. Yep. And then the only other thing were pit stops. I thought someone was going to get seriously injured.
It was
just the
safety.
only good
pit stop that happened was Lewis calling for inters or calling for slicks early and getting it, and that's the only saving grace for Ferrari all weekend long.
I just really, I mean,
dangerous. Yeah,
I think overall this goes back to like Australia when we were talking about how it's unsafe. And yes, they've been racing in the rain for the existence of F1, but you can still race in the rain, but you can also make safe decisions. The FIA can actually make safe decisions sometimes, which they don't. They don't make any decisions. They don't. It's just really infuriating. And I'm not going to shit on Max because like I'm on his team now this year, but I also think it's very funny that he started above his grid box and there was no penalty. It's like there is no what?
He was touching.
Yeah, but if it was anyone else, do you know what I'm saying? There's like it's just make the rules so they're black and white. You know, like same thing with like the formation lap versus like an actual race lap. It's like that shouldn't be questioned on live TV. Like you should know that.
No, they definitely. It's classic for this season. Past couple seasons, the indecisiveness is costing teams points. It's getting real close to costing people some injuries.
With Red Bull releasing Max early, and you know
that was terrifying.
Having
when you see the replays,
having Kimi hit him, and then Kimi can't box. Like that's not on the drivers. That's on the team. But then that's also
No, it is.
Go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say, rewatching that video where Red Bull released Max early, it was not just the damage done to the car, but they almost took out the front left mechanic as well.
Yeah.
Like Kimi almost took him out because he was backing up. So, yeah, it was... Finish your thoughts.
Do better.
On the FIA, Jake. Yeah.
Do better, FIA. That's all I got to say.
Yep.
Also, like, if you're in event production, so you're a live sporting event director... You've got to have A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I all the way through double A, double B, double C. Like you need to be ready to go. Honestly, I think there needs to be a school to send Ferrari and race directors to say like, okay, it's wet outside. I walked outside and it's wet. What are the possible decisions I could be making today?
Just ask George. George always knows the weather.
Well, he is on it.
Our
on his
weatherman.
fancy ass watch. He has Weather Channel dialed in his helmet. He's got a heads-up display, fiber optic across his visor. Yeah, he and Lewis seem to know what's up when it comes to weather, and it's just at least George's technicians listen to him. Okay, so post-sprint race. Kimi ended up getting a penalty, super big bummer for driving too far behind the safety car, too slow behind the safety car. Liam crashed into Fernando Alonso. I will say this: the stewards at Miami got that car off the track real quick. No, never mind. That was not for that one. It was for the GP where whoever crashed out there. It could have been.
No, we finished in a yellow flag, and it was reminiscent of Australia, where I'm like, "There's an actual car on a street circuit. Why is it not a red flag?"
Yeah.
Alrighty, to tie that up, sprint race, carnage galore, exciting for a minute for Kimi. My wife was super excited about Lewis getting P3 and getting more points. So
so we had Lando, Oscar, and Lewis were our podium for the sprint race.
Yes. Okay, going into qualies for the real GP. The pits again. So who was penalized this weekend for going too fast in the pit lane again? It Yuki? Yeah.
Yuki.
A lot of craziness happening.
Yuki spun out. So he couldn't get his limiter on in time.
Know whose limiter has been on too hard for about the second they entered the sport? Lance Stroll. Only thing that he has done is limit Aston Martin. Even though he's in the points, he was out in Q1 again, just cementing his record. Max killer quali situation. It was looking like Kimi was going to come in, and then it looked like Oscar was going to take it, and it looked like Lando was going to take it, and then Max just really came in by what, 1,000th of a second over Oscar? Lando?
He big daddied that. So
Yeah,
much.
big daddy laying nappies out, dirty nappies out for everybody else to smell on the track.
Toss it out the back like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Right on the racing line.
Yeah.
Bloody lovely,
Yeah.
bloody lovely, bloody lovely.
It's like the banana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this race also super exciting. I had a unique experience watching / listening to this race because I actually was listening to a majority of it. I didn't watch the race until the last about like 10 laps, just because we were driving to go see some family. And my wife, my Jess, was awesome in terms of play-by-play, keeping me up to date on intervals, all of it. Very exciting race to listen to and to watch. There are lots of great highlights. Overtakes galore. I'd love to hear our favorite overtakes from this race because we don't get them every race. This one had a couple.
I it's no secret which one I'm gonna say, but watching
Tell us.
watching both my papaya boys overtake Max Verstappen was just mwah, and then increase the gap to 35 seconds. Ooh, it felt good to be a McLaren fan this weekend. I will say, like, I just loved the overtake. Like, when he was battling, Oscar got around him pretty quickly. But seeing Lando battle Max again, it was very reminiscent of last year. And I loved that because we haven't had, now it's very much more Oscar and Lando. And I really just thought it was like, oh, we're back. We're so back.
We're so back.
We're so back. Yeah. That was my favorite overtake.
Yeah.
Both of them.
It's not my favorite because, well, it's notable. Ocorn. My favorite Ocorn with my favorite race engineer, Laura. Hearts. It's a goal to get her on this pod. So, yeah, this shows my age, just so we know. Yep. Oh, see, we're all in different categories.
We all have different hearts.
Yes, Laura, if anyone has a connection to Laura, would love to have her on, would love to chat with her. But they cut to Laura watching Hamilton overtake Ocon. Broke my heart, but also I was like, yes, look at this footage. This is what we need more of. The drama, the suspense. Will it stick? I need to know. And then ultimate heartbreak, which wasn't great. But Hamilton did at least one overtake that they showed.
I forgot the overtake of Carlos and Leclerc. That was also another fun little moment with the Ferraris because they used to be teammates. So, there were so many overtakes.
There's a lot of really great action, a lot of teamwork here, a lot of failed teamwork in the race. I'm not going to talk about Ferrari radio because I need to save that for Kelley. I think overall, very exciting race. Super comfy lead for Oscar. And I think there was one point where we didn't watch the race and we weren't listening to it for just about like 5, maybe 7 minutes. I looked down at my phone and there was a 33-second gap between Lando and George. Again, George running a great race, but just getting no love for it. So well done for you, George. Snaps and claps for you.
He's like, okay, is everyone going to be really excited like Kibby? Oh, no one cares. Okay.
Good race, team. Good race.
Yeah, he's like, anyone?
Yep.
Anyone?
No, great.
Literally.
Just me. The last thing I want to touch on for the race, and then we need to move on, is the little paddy wagon trip for Lando, Oscar, and George from the finishing to podium. Freaking brutal. George, perfect gentleman. I thought he gave a great post-race interview. Lando, oof, yikes. Major sad boy vibes. Cannot pretend that he is happy for his teammate. I think Oscar would have beat him had there not been any kerfuffles with safety cars and all of that. But Jake, I'm getting some face from you, so please.
I don't think his interview was bad. I think him
the
pouting
interview
in the
wasn't
corner was
It was yes, the dead in the
different.
eyes. That's
But
what I was
think
referring
I
to.
think
Different?
I think the interview was fine. Him sitting in the corner like
It was the interview was a little sad boy because he was like, well, I can't really do it. Yeah, it's great. It's great for Oscar, but yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then George just kind of chilling in the corner while Lando pouted and Oscar was very, very dry about everything. Like, yeah, it was a good race. Lot of clean air. That's about it. Jake, can you give us a rundown? Or sorry, Kel, do you have comments on the last anything
I
else
was just
from the
gonna
GP?
say I watched Lando on the little 18-wheeler, which is so strange, and then after I felt like this was a just more self-aware, like not confident, but like content Lando. He's like, the circumstances were what they were. The race shook out like it shook out. And he didn't do any blaming. He mentioned the car was great. The people at the factory are doing the Lord's work. Like, I don't know. I didn't get super sad boy vibes. Shout out to everyone at the factory. Y'all are doing
Oh yeah,
great.
you better roll it back.
Continue your damage control. All right, friends. Let's go into
Let's go where we're standing. McLaren had 246 points. Mercedes has 141. Red Bull 105. Ferrari 94. Williams 37. Haas with 20. Aston 14. V-Carb 8. Alpine 7. And Kick Sauber 6. That leaves us with our driver standing. Oscar Piastri still holding onto his lead with 131 points, followed by Lando Norris with 115. Number 3.
So sorry.
So good. Max Verstappen, 99 points, followed by George Russell, 93. Leclerc, 53. Antonelli, 48. Hamilton, 41. Albon, 30. Ocon, 14. Stroll with 14. Tsunoda with 9. Gasly, 7. Sainz, 7. Hulkenberg, 6. Behrman, 6. Jar, 5. Alonso, Lawson, Ewan, and Bortoleto all have Zippo. Nada.
Cooked.
More importantly than where the drivers and constructors are, Tim, you good?
I'm great now.
Okay, good. We have a shakeup in our point standing for fantasy. So just
Tim
call
tries
me.
all the way at the top.
Not so much. You did score more points than I did. So you got 172 this week. I got 152. Hennis Venkas has 204 this weekend. Just call me the Lando to Kelley's Oscar because she has now overtaken me 931 points total to my 900. And Tim, you're still trying your 567.
That makes me George Russell.
So, yeah. All of this talk has gotten me a little thirsty. Are y'all ready for hydration station?
Just emptied the tank. I'm ready for more.
Okay,
Oh,
so
boy.
today on hydration station, I have a couple of things. The first one obviously was Lando's helmet, but I also wanted to. It went from no Lando to all Lando, but I saw this picture and I was like, it has to go into hydration station. It's just Lando from the back. Yeah, Kelley, whatever your quote was, it looks better from the back. We'll put it on the screen. But then I had a meme of the week, and that was poking fun at Lando, and it says, name a better duo, I'll wait. And it shows Miami circuit with the Aston Martin safety car and Lando Norris because he won the sprint race under a caution. So,
We love that for Lando. I think last year too, right? That's how,
yeah, so that's why it's like name a better duo because he won because of a safety car. I digress. Next week, we'll have a lot more for Hydration Station because the Met Gala just happened and Lewis Hamilton was co-chair. So have quite a few pictures that we probably can play a game around because we don't have a race next week. But yeah, that's kind of what I had for Hydration Station.
guess what?
What?
We're not done
What?
with Hydration Station.
Or not.
We have
We have a
one more
surprise.
ad to the F Wonderland's Hydration Station.
There was another important race that happened this weekend.
Super important race outside of just the Miami GP. Maybe even more important, honestly, for us.
A similarly glamorous town as well.
Are we talking about
Absolutely.
the IndyCar race that happened in Alabama? because that one was fun too.
Alabama.
Okay.
What, clutch my pearls. No. We are talking about the half marathon that our one and only Jake ran this weekend.
At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
In the spirit of Hydration Station, sorry, I had to like gulp, Jake's livery for this race. I think
It was.
the people need to see it, you know?
Okay,
Right?
we'll throw a picture up. I did text the group. I said we were talking about liveries because this was Thursday, and I'd ordered some half tights to run in, and I had a pair of black ones, and I had a pair of like tealish blue ones, and I kind of just knew that those were going to be the ones, but I was like, I need some help picking my livery this week for the race. And both of them voted for the blue, and I'm glad I went with the blue. It matched my sunglasses, but ironic thing was it rained and I didn't wear my sunglasses. They stayed on my head the whole time.
But they were still there.
But
And we also
Yeah,
have
they were
a
still
little
there.
bit of the beginning of a love story, if I can take 2 minutes to read this. So
oh
You
no.
probably should.
Jake was sending us, I'm just going to hold this up here. So he was saying, do we do this,
Right.
which was the blue that he ended up choosing, or the black? Okay.
Right.
The teal or the black. And I said, what if black underneath, blue on top? Then if shit goes sideways, boom, a shocking reveal, and you throw the blue ones into the crowd in a t-shirt cannon moment. The man who catches them, a man, not a boy, thinks you'd want them
Important.
back and finds you at the finish. He also happens to be jacked and shirtless, and as you locked eyes, you know it was meant to be. He takes you on a date in his kick-ass, suspiciously nice car to get pizza and ice cream. You're gonna be tooty, but it's worth it. There's something about him. You're sharing stories, and he mentions he skipped work to be in Indy for the weekend. You got a wild hair. You say, work on the weekend? What do you do?
WERK.
He says he races cars. You realize you never got his name. Landon, he says, but my friends call me Lando. It's Lando Norris. You smash, get more ice cream, and then never see each other again. That's what happened. Real story.
True story.
It was a wild weekend, y'all. It was, I blinked and I missed it. Tim, I think you are on the route to being F1's newest smut writer. I don't know if you should use my name for this book, but I really do appreciate
I'm going to use
the
your
color
name,
that you added to
address,
that.
and
Social security number.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Inseam, all of it. It's important.
I will say thank you guys for being so supportive and like rooting me on. It was really nice to like see you guys cheer me on. I did want to bring this and show everyone because I thought this is probably the coolest medal that I've ever received in my life. And it has an IndyCar on it.
Oh, that is really
Cool.
cool.
So I know this is not F1, but I mean, it's just so cool. I got to run around the track and kiss the bricks. And then people thought I was, nodding to Katy Perry kissing the ground. And I said, you uneducated swine, don't ever.
No.
But yeah, it was a great weekend full of lots of races. And it was fun.
Well, congratulations. Yeah, you running on the track. You sent a video of running on the track. Just like joy. It was so fun to see you out there in your livery, just running so fast in your new Pirelli tires. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Got a new pair of shoes. Sick
Stopping
livery.
at all the hydration stations.
But yeah,
Look good, feel good, play good. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I wish that I had a little like earpiece though that you could have talked to me because I think we would have had some really good box banter, if you know what I mean.
great.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh,
That would've
beautiful
been
segue, Jacob.
so
Well
fun.
done. Oh, brilliant job. Kelley, can you take us through real quick just the shit show of the weekend?
Honestly, there's really just one thing to talk about here, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the rest of the radios after the Ferrari drama. The Ferrari team
Doesn't
was
matter.
keeping
Specifically Lewis.
our content rolling. Yeah, I will also say Charles was pretty confused too on the radio. But we had...
You're confused. I'm confused.
Oh
We're
my
all
gosh.
confused.
Added to the words of
radios.
wisdom.
Okay, I truly think that the words of wisdom is gonna have to happen. Okay, so Ferrari, picture it. They're together on the track. I think Leclerc is on a hard tire, better for longer. Hamilton's on a medium, a little faster, but will not be as fast
This
for
is
long.
post pit stop. So
Yes.
at the end of the race.
So basically, the person who has the tire advantage to catch the next person, which I want to say was Kimi, right? Yeah.
I believe so. There was something with Kimi and his under overtaking.
Right. Anyways, Hamilton's in the back and he is like frustrated because he has faster tires. So he gets on the radio and he's like, you want me to just sit here the whole race? Ferrari hits him with a "we are checking," basically. He says, I'll come back to you. And then, you know, sometimes time goes by and then the engineer says, we want to keep the DRS to Charles, keep ahead like this. Hamilton kind of throws a fit because, I mean,
He's got
laps
pace.
are lapping. We're losing tire here, people. Chop, chop.
Charles was
he
not
says-
within DRS of the car in front of him at that time either.
What's that?
Charles was
Charles?
not with Charles. Yeah, was not within DRS range at the time of that radio.
Correct. Hamilton is like, man, you guys, this is not good teamwork. That's all I'm going to say. And then, honestly, the radio kind of like went in and out between them talking over each other. And Hamilton's kind of making a case in China, go out of the way when you're on a different tire strategy. I don't remember exactly
He
what
was
it
saying
said.
that he moved out of the way in China.
Right. And then engineers like, understood, swap the cars. This is where Hamilton gets really exciting. Have a tea break while you're at it. Come on.
Lewis
Have a tea
doesn't
break.
get hot like this. Lewis keeps a lid on it.
100%. So, I mean, also what's really funny is like Ferrari, it's more like have some gelato or like have some pasta too. It's just like really cute. Like have a tea break. They're like, what does that mean? Did that even land for them? Like take a chill pill.
Espresso. He said, "What? We don't drink tea."
Yeah, so anyways, then they swap. They didn't get any, honestly, nothing pans out for them. They don't get any closer to Kimi, really. They swap back. And then almost immediately when Charles goes back in front of Hamilton, the engineer pops on and says, signs 1.4 behind. Y'all, the gaggery of what Hamilton says.
Gagged.
He says, just straight, you want me to let him pass as well?
It was beautiful.
End scene.
It was. I don't know what's going to happen with the mechanics, engineers at Ferrari. This is what turned into, or what was thought to be and initially seen as the move of all F1 moves, the biggest team move in sports history, has turned out to be a little bit of a clusterfuck. I really hope Fred can pull it together for next season because it does not look like it's going to happen this season. But
do we think we're learning more about Fred? Like, what do we think
I
we're
don't
learning?
know. I feel like Fred had a
I
better.
think it's a
he did
perfect
better last
storm.
season. Yeah, I think it's
a perfect storm. I think they put way too much hype on Lewis. I think Lewis thought it was going to be a lot easier to come into another car. And this is not me hating on Ferrari or Lewis. Like I root for them. I want them to win. But like I texted you guys this week and I was like, I'm sick of Ferrari. Like I don't even want to root for them because they're making bad decisions or no decisions at all. And they're not improving. And they're not like a Haas or a Kick or even an Alpine that doesn't have the funding. They have the funding. They get an extra amount of funding because they're the longest running team on the grid. Why aren't you winning? Why aren't
get it
you
for
being
no
even
reason.
competitive?
I hate to make this comparison, but they have a lot of money. They have a lot of control that they could be taking. They're being wildly indecisive. Who does that sound like? The FIA.
Oh, God.
I also think that Ferrari
No,
is
it's
so steeped into tradition that I think they aren't willing. I mean, this is just my outside perspective of it. They aren't willing to try new things, specific things, because we've done this for so long this way. I don't know if that has a factor in it, but it's not clicking. It's not, nothing's
Maybe they
clicking.
need a little dose of Tim tries, Just try new things.
Ooh, do you have some for us?
Ooh.
After Tim cried and lied?
Tim fried some arancini balls for the for the
That
team.
sounds great.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
meet up.
hungry. I do have some Tim takes, unless we need.
Let's go.
Kelley, do you have any more box banter?
That's all we needed to talk about.
All right.
That's all
Before
she
we take
wrote.
us out here, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this episode. This was a little bit longer. There was a lot of action that happened. If you did not watch this Grand Prix, this is one that I would say is definitely worth watching, even either highlight reels of the whole weekend or just go back and watch the full race, the full sprint, because it was so fun. It was full of drama. It was soaking wet. And there's some
I thought it was the
fun
best
stuff
race
happened.
this year.
I
Like,
agree.
most exciting race this year.
Most
So if you're new to
overtakes back and
F1,
forth. Yeah.
hit this one up.
Listen to Jake. Okay, so I actually have 3 here because there was a lot that happened this week, and I've got one for the sprint, okay? The sprint. This is about Kimi. If you don't have a good start at lights out, it'll be hard-pressed to find an opportunity for a do-over, right? There's only one time lights go out in the race. Anyway, the full Grand Prix. Having to explain my jokes.
You didn't have to. We got it.
I got it.
Okay, great. Full GP here. Having clean air is ideal during the race, and if you're 30 seconds behind the car in front of you, you'll have plenty of it. Okay,
Very that.
great. That's for our boy George. This one is just for Lewis. Now, Lewis asked his mechanics if they wanted him to just sit there the whole race, and had another call asking if they wanted him to let Carlos pass him as well. Neither are very practical during a Grand Prix. On one hand, you have a safety hazard. The other, very poor strategy.
I love it.
Oh, Will. I mean, Tim.
It's hard to tell the difference. Shout out to Will Buxton this weekend for bringing a full-on lightsaber out.
Light
for,
sword out. He really just
lightsaber.
brought.
Jake!
I thought it was you on the screen. I was just really just so impressed with his light sword skills. Yeah.
Nerds.
Gosh, you guys think it's bad that I haven't seen Wicked yet? You guys talk about light swords like you've never seen a second of Star Wars in your life. I'm not going to talk about it now. We'll get into it next week, and maybe we'll have a little movie
Well, we
marathon
haven't.
on our bye week here. Huh? We'll do Wicked and then 15 Star Wars films. Anyway, all of you, thank you so much for listening to Wonderland the podcast. If you are watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify, please follow us at Wonderland Podcast. Email us at wonderlandpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us everywhere at F1_Derland, Wonderland on all of the platforms you consume your content. From Jake, Kelley, and Tim, a sincere thank you. And heading into this bye week, I think we got to say, wow, Mom!
It is Mother's Day, so shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day if you're listening as well.
Thank you to our sponsors, our mothers, who sponsored our lives. And without our lives, we would not be
Biggest
here
fan.
to say bye!
Bye.